welcome to Inside Athletics. I'm your host, Brandon Thomas. Joining me today, we have two special guests. Furthest, we have Coach Callie Noble. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good.
And then second, we have Senior Katie Jones.
Hey.
So, ladies, big season for y'all. You know, coming back after the hurricane and everything like that. You know, some low points, some high points, but y'all made it to the tournament. And in the tournament, yeah, there's some great things. Can you just talk to me about the season overall as a whole from both years? We're going to start with you, Coach.
Okay. Yes, like we had a great returning group of players and definitely had high expectations for the season. And unfortunately, that hurricane hit, but our girls were able to overcome that and being displaced, and really did a great job in preseason and had a lot of success there. And then as the season progressed, I think just being displaced and living other places kind of took its toll on us. But they were able to make it to the conference tournament, and you know, for the first time, I think since 2014, and then get that first round win since 2009, I believe. Right. So super exciting, but these girls were so strong and did a great job this season.
Now, Katie, you're the player, you're in the thick of it. Talk about your experience.
I definitely say it was difficult. You know, after the hurricane, we all kind of struggled. Like, we were all displaced, like she said. Like, you had your freshmen living in the dorms, but then you had your upperclassmen. Like, we all lived off campus, or most of us did, and we all got displaced. So just kind of living with that, and like the struggles of being a college athlete at the same time, still being a student, like still having to keep our grades up and everything. It was difficult, but I think in the end, like, we were able to push forward and make it worth it. The conference tournament, ending the season on a high note, I think was really good for us, and moving forward, like, the mentality is really good.
Well, you're a senior, so what was running through your mind when the storm hit? You were like, okay, we're getting ready to start our season. I think it was against Texas Southern that y'all were around that time. Mm-hmm. Just talk about how you looked at it from that point of view.
It was definitely difficult, but then I thought back to the COVID pandemic and like us being sent home, and it kind of felt similar in a sense that we were kind of being displaced, like things weren't normal. So it wasn't extremely difficult, but in another sense it was, because it was a completely different situation. But we were kind of used to the going and moving around, and so it was difficult at times, but I think we were able to persevere throughout it.
Okay. Coach, back to you. So this is your third year on the Bayou, right? Mm-hmm. Coach, just kind of bring to me the experience that you've had building this program up from where it was, which is, you know, lackluster to say the least, to now where you're at, you know, like you said, since 2014, getting to the tournament and then winning a game in the tournament first since 2009.
Yeah, it's definitely been a growth. It's, you know, a growth process. When I took over the program, I believe the record was 7-51 in the previous 4 years. So, you know, that first season being able to have success, you know, I think we ended up having 11 wins that season, was huge. And then unfortunately, my second year was the COVID year. So that was definitely a struggle. And then we were ready to really prevail in this season, and then the hurricane hit. So, you know, people forget that the senior class, those young women haven't had a normal college experience since second semester of their sophomore year. Right. So putting that into perspective, the fact that we were able to make it to the tournament and get that first round, it's huge for our program in terms of moving forward, like Katie said. Mm-hmm.
Going back to the ebbs and flows of the season, like you said, and not having a normal season, how do you keep it all together? How do you keep people from, you know, going their own way?
I attest that to their parents. They all come from great families, and they're just great young women. But I'm very careful in the recruiting process and making sure that I find student athletes that A, fit our program, and B, like the culture that we're trying to create here. So that's really important, but they all come from great families and are just great humans anyway. So I don't have to pull here and tug there. You know, they're good kids.
Katie, just break me through how, you know, outside of the coach's eyes, how you and your teammates lean on each other, bring on each other, and then with the pandemic and the hurricane, how y'all gotten closer together.
Definitely during the hurricane, we were staying at someone's house for a couple of weeks and in hotels together, so we did spend a lot of time together. And last season, it was difficult due to the COVID pandemic. You're not supposed to really spend time with people if you're not 6 feet apart, not wearing the mask. So it was very difficult for us to really get that team bonding aspect. But I feel like this year we were able to stay together. We were able to hang out all the time together, like to the point kind of where we were getting sick of each other. But I think we really enjoyed it. And then like like you said, the conference tournament kind of brought that all together. Like we were all just so excited to like be there together as a team and as a unit.
Right. Well, speaking of the conference tournament, let's take it to Houston to see some of y'all highlights for that first game against Northwestern. Coach, can you just break down what's going on right here? Y'all are leading up to nothing.
Yeah, so this is our first round match against Northwestern, and we dominated pretty much in the first 2 sets. So after that break between the sets, it's really difficult to come out and take that third set. So we actually struggled a little bit. I believe we lost that third set and ultimately took the match in the 4th set. But we came out strong offensively, but it's hard after that break of 5 minutes to come out, you know, in Northwestern's, their season's on the line, down 2-0. So, but ultimately we were able to come out on top.
Yeah, well, let's watch that match point. Let's see how y'all capped it off. Now, Katie, talk to me about it.
It was super exciting. I think it was huge for us. The game really wasn't that close at all, but we knew intentionally that they could come back and like fight back and try to win the game. And so we knew at all times we had to be playing crisp and clean volleyball. And so I think once we were able to get that win, like we were all kind of able to relax and finally celebrate what we've been working towards.
Now, you want to talk about a celebration? I mean, I don't think anybody did it like yo.
We're live now.
Kind of like what we were talking about before we started looking at the highlights. That's a chance that not many volleyball players that have played here have gotten. Just talk about, I guess, just that feeling of being able to say, this is Nichols, we're on the board now.
Yeah. It was crazy, honestly. Like, it was a surreal feeling. All the girls that I had played with in years previous, except my freshman year, had never been to the conference tournament. So, like, getting that experience, we felt truly blessed to be there because it was honestly one of a kind. Like, we just got to go in there and fight for what we wanted, and there was no really, like, pressure on us. It was, we're the underdogs, and, like, we're here to show you who we are.
Right. Let's take a look at the next match against McNeese. So y'all started off real strong right here. You took the first set, real power move right there. Yeah. So y'all were, I think y'all started off as the 8th seed, then y'all moved up to the 7th seed, and McNeese is obviously the 3rd seed. And just talk about going up against those girls. I know that they're in a conference, so y'all seen them before. Just talk about how you kind of eliminate the past. You kind of eliminate what happened in the regular season, and you take that into the playoffs.
Well, so actually McNeese, their outside number 27 was a different player that we hadn't seen. So we had seen her when we played them at home the second time around, but we hadn't seen her prior to that. So they, you know, their offense became very much outside heavy. And those girls were hitting over our block. So, you know, we tried to make adjustments. We were able to get on top of them in that first set, but ultimately, like, they were a little bit fresher than we were, and they were able to come and get us in the next 3.
Well, let's take a look at their final match point. Yeah. And that has to be, you know, Katie, going back to you, that has to be something where you just feel, hey, it's over with, but we made it.
Yeah, I think it was really difficult at the time to process, but like we knew throughout the whole match that we were fighting a battle and it was going to be hard. And so like we kind of just kept good, like positive spirits, knowing that we're meant to be here and we're meant to show them who we are, kind of thing. And so I think we fought really hard and it just didn't fall our way, and it is upsetting, but you know, there is always a future for this team, and I'm excited to be a part of that and see that.
Right. Beyond volleyball and beyond, you know, the sport and the game itself, just talk about how much of a family that you've made outside of your own family through your teammates and people like Coach Calvin.
Yeah, I feel like it's been such a great experience being here at Nichols. Like, it's taught me a lot about being away from home. I live 4.5 hours away, so of course, like, I can drive home, but I'm not going to drive home every weekend, kind of thing. So I've enjoyed like getting to know the people that I've met here, and I've met so many lifelong friends that I know I'm going to hang out with probably until I'm very old. So I'm just really excited about that. And honestly, all I've met is good people here. So.
Right. Tell me a little bit about Coach. Tell me a little bit how she is, how you know, much of a.
Yeah, I think Coach knows our limits and knows when to push them, and she knows that she's getting the best out of us every single day. And when she's not, like, she's going to tell us, hey, like, guys, like we need to be better today. Like I believe in a better team than this, and like y'all can be better today. And I think like that showed in the conference tournament whenever she believed in us against Northwestern. There was never a doubt in her mind that we were going to win that game. And like she stepped forward with us against McNeese, like knowing we were going to win, like knowing that we were the better team. And I think just like keeping that positive mentality and her telling her players, I believe in you, like I know you can do this, has been like such a good thing for us, and has helped us to many pivotal wins this season, I feel like.
Right. And Coach, on the flip side, I know we only have one of your players here, but can you just talk about just the overall, family and team spirit that y'all have, and about all your players? You can go through all of them in all honesty, because I know they're all special to you.
Yeah, no, they definitely are. I think just when I took on this role, like I knew that there needed to be a lot of mentorship and a lot of guiding. And so I really take pride in being able to mentor 18 to 22-year-old females through the sport of volleyball. And, each one of them is very different, and what they need from me is very different. And so, no, they're all great players. I don't bring them if I don't think that they're going to be great, right? And but they've all, just through all the things that we've been through, whether it was COVID or a hurricane, they've all prevailed and come out on top, and I think are better human beings in the long run. And that's what's important to me. A record is great, but ultimately what matters is what they do after they leave Nicholls State. And I can say that I'm putting some good folks out there.
Well, that's great, Coach. That's great. And I want to thank both of you for joining us today on this episode of Inside Athletics. Y'all both have come in and put a real light on the importance of not just volleyball, but as being a team and being together in light of different situations like the pandemic and the hurricane. And congratulations for making it as far as y'all did, and good luck next season, Coach.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
After the break, we'll come back with some football highlights and more on Inside Athletics.
Earning a degree doesn't have to take away from your busy social life. With Nicholls Online, I can take affordable 8-week classes on my own time. Plus, it's from an accredited, respected university that I trust. Log into Nicholls Online now.
Well, yes, sir. We'll get right on that. I'll see you in the morning, okay? All right, bye. I'm going to need you to pull the two coordinates for the DOQQ. TLU Communication needs to build a new tower to fill a gap in their cell coverage, and they're going to need a clear line of sight between that tower and their antenna.
I'm downloading the DTM for a cross-section view.
We're going to have to get that hill ground truth to find out what's there.
There's a field crew in that vicinity. I can make the call.
Okay, what do you need? We have a mature pine plantation about 60 feet tall.
There's a clear line of sight at 175 feet and above. That's how tall they'll need to build.
All right, looks good. Print it off. All right, here's the information on the hill we were looking at. It seems perfect for your new tower.
We'll start construction immediately. Thanks for getting us so quickly. In the past, we would have to wait weeks.
Well, you gotta love modern geomatics.
More like geo magic. We need boundary and topographic survey.
And we're back. Let's take a look at some of the football highlights from the season finale in the River Bell Classic against Southeastern. Right here, we have senior quarterback Cohen Grania hitting KJ Franklin, the junior wide receiver, on a nice pass inside, putting Nicholls up, tying the game 7-7. Next, we have a huge run by redshirt freshman Colin Guggenheim, who just puts on the burners and burns the Southeastern defenders to put Nicholls up 21. Let's take a look at that again, man, because Guggenheim, I don't think people really understand. We've had people like Julian Gums come in, then we had John Carrington, then we had Marquise Albert. And when his number was called, Guggenheim just came and he delivered every time. For the last 3 games of the season, Guggenheim always delivered. Look at him showing the flexing a little bit, talking to his old lineman. And right here again, we have the knockout punch by the Goo. Goog, putting it in, showing them what's happening. You know, Southeastern, it's always a battle when you go against them. Early in the season, we had a chance to see them. They hit us in the mouth a little bit, but we came back and we punched them with the Goog. Final score, Nichols 45, Southeastern 42. Bringing the River Bell Classic back to Nichols was huge. It was great for the school. It was great for the morale of the team, you know, ending off the season, going into next season. And, you know, with people like Guggenheim who are going to be returning, it just gives the Colonels more promise. It gives the Colonels a lot to look forward to in the future. That'll do it for this episode of Inside Athletics. I'm your host, Brandon Thomas.